So today we're going to be talking about technology integration frameworks. So technology integration frameworks they're models that provide kind of structure for how you can integrate technology into your classroom successfully and give you different things to consider before you do that to make sure that when you do it, it does go smoothly and it is successful. Because a lot of teachers just think by throwing technology into the classroom, you get these iPads and you just give them to the kids and it's going to make the learning so much better. But it's not just that the technology is implemented, it's how the technology is integrated in the classroom that's going to make it successful or not. So the first framework we're going to look at is called TIP, which stands for Technology Integration Planning Model. So the purpose of this model, it asks, does the technology meet the needs of the school? And to determine this, it gives 5 different phases to go through to determine if this technology meets the needs of the school. So this little chart shows how it works. You first start with defining the advantages of technology. Then it goes to you set your objectives and your assessment methods. The third one is you define your personal strategies and activities as a classroom teacher and kind of see how that fits into this technology. 4, is your environment prepared for this technology? Do you have the technical support for it? And then number 5, you list the pros and cons of that technology to see, are there more pros or more cons, and is it really going to be worth it in the end? The second is the SAMR model. It defines how we are going to integrate technology into the classroom. I think this one's really interesting. It actually has 4 different levels that are divided into 2 categories. So you have redefinition and modification under the category transformation, and then augmentation and substitution under the category enhancement. So what this would look like in the classroom is like a gradual progressing of more technology for a classroom task. So say your classroom task is note-taking. So a substitution would be just taking notes using like iOS notes or something like that. An augmentation would be using Evernote to categorize and tag classroom notes. A modification would be using Slingnote to curate those online sources. And redefinition would be sharing notebooks and collaborating using Evernote. So you can see how it gradually becomes more and more. The ultimate goal for the SAMR model is transformation. It's a total redefinition and using this technology to totally transform how you view technology and view teaching. So the third one is LOTI, or Levels of Teaching Innovation model. The purpose is to articulate specific stages of implementation in the classroom. It goes from 0 to 6. So 0 is non-use. This is where there is little to no technology implemented in the classroom. Level 1 is awareness. Technology is somewhat integrated but not fully in use by students, so the teacher may be the only one using it mostly. Level 2 is exploration. Technology is supplementing traditional teaching methods at this point. Infusion. Level 3. Technology is being used to enhance higher levels of cognitive processing, such as using databases, spreadsheets, etc. Level 4A. Teachers are readily using prepackaged materials from outside sources, such as like professional development things, those kind of things. An emphasis is placed on student action and higher levels of cognitive processing. Level 4B is very similar to 4A, except teachers may design their own materials. Level 5 is expansion. Teachers are pulling in technology from outside sources such as NASA to enhance the learning experience. Level 6, refinement. There is no divide between instruction and technology at this point. It's a seamless relationship used to solve real-world problems. So at this point, technology is totally integrated into the classroom setting. Number 4 is TIM, Technology Integration Matrix Model. The purpose of this is it provides a framework for defining and evaluating tech integration. It gives teachers and administrators a common language for setting goals. So this combines 5 characteristics plus 5 levels of technology integration to create a matrix. So the 5 characteristics are active, constructive, goal-directed, authentic, and collaborative. So you combine that with the 5 levels: entry, adoption, adaptation, infusion, and transformation. And you end up with a matrix something like this. So you can see how you can combine the characteristics with the levels in the chart to look at various different components of the technology integration. So TPAC is our 5th framework. It stands for Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge Model. So the purpose is that this framework lays out the knowledge that educators need in order to successfully integrate technology into their teaching. It combines 3 knowledge areas: technological knowledge, content knowledge, and pedagogical knowledge. And this framework looks at how this trio works together to increase student motivation and make the content more accessible to students. So this is what it looks like. It's 3 rings and they all interconnect. So content knowledge is the subject matter being taught. Pedagogical knowledge is the how, the tools or methodologies teachers use to instruct their students. How are they going to use this direct instruction? Are they going to have direct instruction, inquiry-based teaching, group discussion, debate, etc.? Technological knowledge is the 3rd one. And, this is the digital tools that you're using, like Google Drive, iPads, smart boards, apps, whatever. And this is what the teachers are using to make content more accessible while still supporting the pedagogical strategy used in instruction. But then you have overlaps within those circles. So TP knowledge helps us understand how we are making content more accessible. TC knowledge allows us to identify the affordances of pairing appropriate technology to the content. PC knowledge allows us to identify the affordances of pairing the appropriate pedagogies with the content. And the sweet spot is what they call the very center, is where everything comes together. So TPAC, TPAK, is the overlapping point at the very center where all those components come together. So this is the end of our presentation. I hope this presentation gave you all a little more insight into frameworks that are used to integrate technology into the classroom, and that you'll be able to use these frameworks in the future when you start integrating technology into your classroom. Thanks.